Hello, this is Dr. J here with something a little different. This time I'm playing a mod that is based on the OpenRA engine, which is basically sort of a fan-made update and adaptation of the original Command & Conquer Red Alert. So this is essentially a mod of a mod. It's called Combined Arms. Apparently it has 5 factions, Allies, Soviets, GDI, Nod, and the Scrin. And one of the developers for Combined Arms just left a note on my channel saying, hey, we made this mod and we are releasing some missions for it, so it has some single-player missions. Would you like to check it out? And I'm recording this on Christmas Eve day. As it turns out, I just got snowed in by like over a foot of snow. So it's not like I can get outside to go visit with friends and family anyway, so I figure, hey, perfect timing. Let me go ahead and check out this mod then. So I just tested this out a little bit before doing this recording to make sure that everything works, get a little bit of a feel for the gameplay, but I have not done much. So this is going to be fairly blind, and it's basically going to be my honest impressions as I play, so it's basically going to simultaneously be a review in addition to a playthrough. It makes a good first impression on me. It's got the old school graphics, but it's also raining. It has a pretty cool remix of... it's basically a combination of Act on Instinct and Hellmarch that's playing, right? With some really cool synths, so I like all that. Makes a good first impression here on the title screen. Anyway, that's enough babbling from me. Let's go ahead and go to the single player. I'm gonna do missions. Okay, so a little bit of a bummer here is there's no cutscenes or anything. So it's pretty much like expansion missions. You just have a little text box, so there's not really any characters. The storytelling is going to be very, very minimalistic. The vast majority of mods are like this, so I'm not really going to deduct points for that. I do think it's a bit of a bummer, though. It's why for my own custom campaign that I made Red Alert Alternative, I actually built my own entire StarCraft-style cutscene engine, so I could actually have proper mission briefings and cutscenes. But I digress. Like I said, let's not take off any points for that, because almost every mod ever made does do it this way. So, we currently just have 2 campaigns available, 2 5-mission little mini campaigns, Allies and Nod. The Allied campaign, Mission 1 is called Crossrip. It says, there have been reports of unusual energy readings emanating from a Soviet facility in the area. Establish a base and investigate. If the Soviets put up strong resistance, then they must be hiding something of importance, in which case you are authorized to launch a full-scale attack. Unfortunately, we can't commit our most advanced equipment or aircraft until we've assessed if there is a significant threat. Difficulty I'll leave on normal, because I have too much pride to play on easy, and I typically don't play games on hard mode unless I think there's a compelling reason to. This goes double for mods, which have a tendency to go a little overboard on the difficulty anyway. Speed, I'll go ahead and leave on normal. The way the Open Red Alert engine works, it tends to be fairly frantic. So if I crank the game speed up too fast, I'm not really going to be able to control what I'm doing very well. Alright, so weird energy readings, investigate. Can do.
Battle control initialized.
Alright.
Signal flare detected.
Alright, so we do get some modern conveniences like attack move. I am a big fan of attack move. We get a signal flare over here showing us where to set up our base. Okay, my tank is getting in the way of everybody. Don't do that. This is going to be an extremely different experience from playing vanilla CNC or Red Alert. Obviously it reuses most of the graphics, although the Combined Arms mod is going to add a bunch of new stuff in as well. But a lot of the graphics are reused from CNC and Red Alert. That said, the gameplay is extremely, extremely different. So different, it's almost like playing a completely different RTS. So although it looks the same, or at least very similar, this isn't really like I'm playing Red Alert at all. It's like I'm playing a much more modern game. Both for better and for worse. Like I said, I love attack move. Big fan of having that at my disposal. Alright, let's go ahead and start setting up our base. The hotkey for repair is C for some reason. I do not understand that. That's bizarre, but as long as we know what it is, then we can repair things fairly quickly. Alright, now for my little test run, it seemed that in typical mod fashion, even though this is mission 1, it's actually extremely difficult. So we're going to want to go in guns blazing, bring our A game from the get-go. Alright, now we can build defenses and regular structures at the same time in the manner of more modern real-time strategy games. So that's something we're going to want to take advantage of. Very nice remix of one of the Red Alert tracks playing right now. Was this... I forget, is this Mud? Not positive. Anyway, it's a really good remix. I'm a big fan of the music in this mod so far. Alright, there's a unit that I have no idea what that is. Some kind of new Soviet unit. Looked like some kind of missile artillery piece. Okay. Let's get more defenses up. We are going to come under pretty heavy attack from very early on. And we're going to want to get lots of harvesting going as well. No, don't kill all my infantry. Okay.
Construction complete.
There we go. Looks like maybe R is the hotkey for placing something. I'm actually not sure. I hit R for repair, forgetting that the hotkey for repair is C. You can remap the hotkeys, to be clear. There's settings for that. But I'm way too lazy, so I'm just sticking with the defaults and fumbling my way around.
Construction complete.
Alright, get more production going, another power plant, more defenses.
Building.
Like I said, we're going in guns blazing, bringing our A game from the very start. This does not take it gently on you just because this is mission 1, as we are going to see. That's actually a criticism on my part. This is very, very typical of mods where the difficulty curve is totally messed up and the difficulty level is very high from the start, from the very beginning. Now, I think that quite a few players really like that, so this is maybe more of just a me thing. I don't know if this is a popular opinion, but I prefer the difficulty to really be a curve. In other words, it starts off relatively gentle and it ramps up. It would be more forgivable that it starts very difficult from the very beginning if this were essentially just vanilla Red Alert or CNC, because then presumably you'd already be very familiar with how everything works. But it's not. This is extremely different from the vanilla games, which means I'm basically learning how to play a new game here. So honestly, I feel like mission 1 should be borderline a tutorial mission. Because I'm fumbling around, I'm learning what the tech tree is, I'm getting accustomed to the very different feeling gameplay. You know, I'm not playing at my best from the very start. I'm learning it. But this mission is like mid to late game difficulty. So it's not gently introducing me to it. As I said, that is definitely a criticism from me. I would, if I were designing this, I would tone down the difficulty on this mission. But like I said, this is very, very common of mods, that they go kind of bananas with the difficulty level. Actually, yeah, let's get out a couple of Oh, silos needed. So I hate silos needed. I hate that as a game mechanic. I hated it in the original games. I still hate it. The one redeeming quality of silos is that you can do cool mission design with it, where you have to capture like enemy silos to get money. That is literally its only redeeming feature. Other than that, I hate it, and I much prefer StarCraft style, where you just have unlimited resource storage. Let's get a war factory up next. like losing money because you went heavy on your economy and you can't quite keep up with the rate at which your harvesters are bringing in the funds, and having to build silos to store it. That's not fun. It's not a good game mechanic in my opinion. The originals were like that, obviously, so the mod is just copying the way the originals were in that respect. When I did Red Alert Alternative, I massively increased the amount of storage that everything has to like 5,000. 5,000 on the refineries and the silos, so you hardly even needed to worry about it. That way you can sort of keep the potential mission design benefits of having silos without the annoyance that it brings to the gameplay. You see what I mean about how we come under very heavy attack from the very beginning. We're also going to get hit by aircraft from that direction. Alright, let's start building some prism towers. Those will drastically increase our defensive capabilities. And let's start cranking out an army. Now, I actually did not clear the first mission during my test run, but I did play it long enough to get the impression that this is basically a Sitzkrieg mission, because the enemy defenses are pretty heavy, so it's not like you can just launch small forays and make any real progress. So what we're going to have to do is just build a ridiculously huge army to go wipe the map with. I don't think a small army will cut it in any way, shape, or form.
Unit ready.
And we're going to be just continuously coming under pretty significant attack as well. And so, like I said, basically Sitzkrieg, we're going to have heavy defenses, we're going to sit back in our base and try not to die while we build a gigantic army to go wipe the map. Okay. I think that 2 turrets, 2 pillboxes, and 2 prism towers should keep our base safe while we're also building up an army which will be able to aid in the defense. And I am maybe going to want one more AA gun as well. Okay, I think 4 refineries will be enough. I am seriously playing as though this is a late game mission. I am not able to hold back or relax in any way, shape, or form. Alright, let's go on a little scouting expedition and see what's in the southwest corner of the map. By the way, so yeah, we have prism towers. We have a combination of Red Alert 1 and Red Alert 2 tech. This is very, very cool. I'm a big fan of this. So, and we get prism tanks. Prism tanks, as we're going to see, are also very cool. So I like this combination of Red Alert 1 and Red Alert 2 tech tree. And they look very seamless. They're very seamlessly incorporated into the game engine. They don't look out of place at all. It really looks like Red Alert 1 tech was just backported into... Excuse me. Red Alert 2 tech was backported into a Red Alert 1 engine. So that's very well done. Major compliment to the mod in that respect. Okay, the enemy completely bypassed my defenses there. That's frustrating, but clever on their part. There we go. So we're going to have to reinforce down here as well. What's going on is they're doing an airdrop of infantry here, and my AA guns are too far away to prevent that. Let's see. You guys are obviously hurt. So we're just going to have to reinforce that side over there.
Unit prepared. Unit ready.
Oh, here come the aerial attacks. So here's another thing that I'm not a fan of, which started, I believe, in the original Red Alert. Aircraft crashing when you shoot them down and possibly landing on buildings and doing heavy damage to them when they crash. That just irritates me. I feel it's unnecessary. Aircraft are pretty effective in the first place, so the fact... And they do really heavy damage if they land right on a building. Like, a lot of damage. This is just my personal opinion, but if I were tweaking the balance, I would reduce the amount of damage that they do when they crash, because I think it's excessive. Actually, if it were me, I would honestly probably just get rid of that mechanic entirely, but even if that mechanic were kept, I would tone the damage down. It seems a little excessive. Again, just one man's opinion. Don't know if other people would agree or not. So we do get mechanics. They are very cheap, remarkably. They can repair nearby vehicles and can salvage destroyed vehicles for credits. I didn't really make much use of mechanics in my test run. I'll try them here, see if they're good. Thankfully, they do not use the incredibly annoying mechanic voice from Aftermath. That's a good thing. They use the medic voice from Tiberian Sun, I believe, and that is very preferable because as just a perfectly acceptable voice and doesn't make my ears bleed like the Aftermath mechanic does. So let's see, is G guard mode? Alt S, okay. I wonder if they are... So what does G do? Apparently nothing. I wonder if they're smart enough to just go out of their way to find vehicles to heal without me. Okay, looks like the answer is yes. And, okay, so if you can salvage for credits... Oh, well, he's dead. Okay. Fair enough, I should wait until the action has died down before I... Maybe I should pull back to my defenses and let them handle the bulk of this so I'm not losing my army. As you can see, it's a very substantial attack. Alright, let's queue up... Why is that a no entry sign? Do I accidentally have an infantry in this group? Well, we're getting outranged. So there's both the V2s and these missile launcher things, whatever they are. I don't really know exactly what the difference is gameplay-wise. I presume they're both long-range missile artillery units. Okay, salvage that mammoth tank, please. Okay, was I too late? I guess I was too late. Okay, I guess it's just taking him a while.
Unit ready. Unit prepared.
That seems useful. Let's replace the one we lost.
Unit ready.
So obviously you don't want those guys to go in the middle of a fight. As we learned, the enemy will target them and they get killed. That's fair enough. Alright, get back here. Now, infantry do still seem to be very fragile, so I don't think I'm going to particularly want a lot of infantry in my attack force. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe I'll try building some, see if they perform okay. Mammoth tanks are insanely durable. I am bombarding them with, like, prism tanks and all kinds of stuff. Okay, pull back, let the mechanics salvage, see... Okay, never mind. Mechanics aren't going to salvage anything. Seems like those hulls, those destroyed hulls, don't stick around for very long. This force here, not even close to sufficient to clear the map. We're going to want a giant army, as far as I can tell. Now, I have played vanilla OpenRA. That feels so weird to call a mod vanilla. Playing a mod of a mod, things get strange. I believe in vanilla OpenRA, artillery are actually, like, really, really strong. Their range is just incredible. Like, they can outrange, I think, any base defense, so they're proper artillery units. I tested them a little bit in my test run for this, and they didn't seem nearly as good. I'm not sure that they're really worth building. It wasn't my impression that they were worth building. But again, this is borderline a blind run. I don't really know what I'm doing, so I could be wrong. Just to reiterate, I do feel like the first mission should ease the player into the game a bit more, give me a chance to really get accustomed to these different units, instead of just dumping me into the middle of mid to late game difficulty. Which, like I said, would be a lot more acceptable if this were vanilla Command & Conquer or vanilla Red Alert, because I would already be very familiar with how everything works, instead of not really having any clue what I'm doing. Okay, can you guys salvage that? Nope. Did it disappear already again? Oh boy, okay, and I think... Alright, good, he's ignoring them. Okay, no, the hull is still there. Okay. Alright, good. Well done. Oh, okay. The V2 rocket launcher, I believe, just fired at my mechanics. Have them pull back. Alright, so the enemy is also doing shore landings here. On my test run, the shore landings had a tendency to hit my back line and destroy my prison tanks or artillery. Because with amazing timing, every time I was moving to the north here, that landing would come and destroy my units in the rear. Also, I wasn't even mentioning it, but obviously we have the ability to queue up units, which is fantastic, so that I don't have to be clicking every 2 seconds to build new units, so big fan of that. That is... okay, my mechanics are dead. I'm starting to think that maybe the mechanics aren't that useful, because... I don't know, they just have a tendency to die a lot. It's hard to keep them alive. And mammoth tanks are still insanely durable. Look at the amount of punishment that thing takes. Okay, let's queue those guys up for repairs. Did that work? Huh. There's an infantry selected. That's why I'm having issues. That's better. Okay.
Preparing. Our base is under attack. Preparing. Preparing.
So yeah, so far my impression is that the graphics, the sound, the tech tree for the mod are all superb, really excellent. That the difficulty curve for the missions is all screwed up, like with most mods, and in my opinion could really use some work. And that this mission could be toned down a lot. Like, strictly from a mission design perspective, considered in a vacuum, there's nothing wrong with this mission. It's fine. It's just a difficulty curve. It has issues. And again, that's just one man's opinion. I don't know. Maybe nobody else thinks that's the case. But I feel like I'm playing, like, mission 9 of a 12-mission campaign or something. It's kind of how it feels difficulty-wise. Alright, kill, 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 and then pull back, pull back. You, repair. I am pleased that the Rangers are only 400 credits, and they seem beefed up in terms of their ability to kill infantry, so they're actually like a good unit that is worth building. I have no idea whether this is a good strategy. Maybe it's terrible, but I feel like basically a mix of medium tanks for general durability, Rangers for anti-infantry, and prison tanks for DPS seems to be a pretty good army composition. And it's good that I want that kind of variety instead of just nothing but tank, 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 like in vanilla CNC or Red Alert. So a balance improvement in that respect. I'm still not at all convinced that this army is anywhere near big enough. Ridiculously enough, as I said, Sitzkrieg. We are running very low on resources, so I may want to go, because there's going to be an enemy outpost up there, I may want to go capture that to increase my resources. Now, how do engineers work? I honestly don't know. Are they just instant single capture like in the original CNC or Tiberian Sun? Are they multiple engineers to capture a single building like in Red Alert? Or are they one captures a building but it takes him a while, which I think is how it works in OpenRA. Okay, I'm losing units here. Well, anyway, let's go expand. I think I can at least take this, I think I'll at least be able to take this outpost.
Our base is under attack. Repairing.
Okay. Go, go, go.
Unit lost.
I do love the prism tanks. They're so cool looking. Those like laser light beam things. Very awesome. Alright, let's take out that barracks. Alright, the enemy is countering. I do think my force should be able to handle their counterattack. Alright, let's see how engineers work. I'm gonna be depressed if he just reduces its hit points by 20%. Okay, it looks like it is a timed capture mechanic, which honestly is maybe my favorite mechanic. Superb. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. That being the case, let's
Unit ready.
Okay, I think it's just an infantry drop. Let's build. I don't want to interrupt my vehicle production, so let's actually build another refinery and plop it down here instead.
Unit ready.
Then I don't know, I might want to... No, I don't want to sell all these defenses because we know they do landings here. But I'm probably going to want to reinforce this.
Unit ready.
I am doing better than I did in my test run because I kind of know what to expect, so... My test run, I didn't, like, get crushed, but I just was spinning my wheels, not really making any progress. Oh, I forgot. With the open red alert engine, you can't build outside the radius of your construction yard. I'm gonna have no choice but to interrupt my vehicle production to make an ore truck, which I think means I'm gonna have to cancel everything. Thankfully, if you hold down shift, you either cancel or queue up like 5 units at a time, which is enormously helpful. Okay, there we go. This force is doing better than I thought it would. Alright, you go harvest this, and hopefully we'll see if the harvester AI is smart enough to realize he should return to the nearest ore refinery. Alright, so I'm not going to be able to reinforce this with defenses then. I can build an MCV though, and they're only 3,000. That actually might be worth my time, to be honest. Alright, we're putting the army on hold again. I can't believe mission 1 and I'm having to build expansion bases. I'm just not confident this army would take the enemy's main base. Maybe it would. Maybe I'm overly concerned from how my test run went when my armies just got slaughtered by the enemy. But maybe this one actually is sufficient. Look at how strong mammoths are. That's crazy. So there are some new civilian building graphics, which I would point out, except I'm under attack, so I have to deal with that. Like this windmill. Look at the smooth animation on the windmill. Beautiful. I know that this thing, this lighthouse, is in vanilla OpenRA. I don't remember seeing this windmill, so I don't know if that was maybe added for combined arms. Regardless, it's a very, very well done new civilian building. I like it a lot. Alright, looks like the Harvester AI is smart enough to be returning to the nearest refinery. I'm going to make a scum save here. Scrum. I do that too much. Being a professional software developer. Okay. I'm making a scum save because I want to see if maybe this army actually is big enough to get the job done. Maybe I'm being a little too fearful. We are about to find out. Okay, there. Now we can build a proper expansion. Alright, let's hit these guys from behind. Well, my army is splitting itself. I guess we can say they're doing a pincer movement. Alright, let's build a couple of prison towers. And maybe a new war factory here, so we've got a staging area. Okay, there we go. Enemy has pretty heavy forces here.
Unit lost.
I do love being able to zoom in and out. That's a vanilla OpenRA thing as well, the zooming in and out. I like it a lot, though. I like how I can zoom out pretty far and get a really good view of the battlefield. Or I can zoom in for finer control. Okay, these Teslas need to go. They're a big pain. Okay, good job. The Prism tanks are doing all the damage here. As I feared, I think this force might not be enough. They've taken very heavy casualties already.
Unit ready. Construction complete. Unit lost. Primary
I don't know how much extra production speed I'm getting from all these multiple war factories.
ready. Unit lost.
Seems like it's a decent amount. Prism tanks aren't as good as I would think they are at destroying armor.
Unit ready.
Yeah, that was a huge attack, and as you can see, it busted through, but I'm not sure it's going to be able to finish off this base.
Unit
Yeah, there's no way it's going to be able to finish off this base. Hopefully we can do a follow-up attack
Unit
before they're able to rebuild too much. I'm not sure if Prism tanks are worth the cost or not. They're $13.50, so they're very pricey. They're basically made of paper, as far as I can tell. They're glass cannons.
Unit ready.
They feel powerful, but at the same time, it seems like they're not that good against armor. Like, man, Mammoth tanks just shrug off Prism tank beams like they're nothing.
Unit ready.
So, I don't know what my opinion is on the balance of the Prism tanks. I don't know if there's some trick to using them that I don't know.
Unit ready.
Weak versus heavy armor. To be fair, it does tell me that right there, so I guess that is deliberate.
Unit ready.
Very deliberate design decision that they're not really good against heavy armor.
Unit
I guess that's what my tanks are for. As I said, this is all stuff I'm kind of learning as I go, which, talk about trial by fire. Having to learn it in pretty strenuous circumstances. Alright, I think we might actually finish the base with this follow-up. These defenses should be able to handle that landing.
Unit lost.
Oh, they rebuilt the Tesla coil. Take it out, boys. Yeah, they're rebuilding everything. I think this is their con yard.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Okay, move over here out of range of the Tesla and take out the con yard.
Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Jeez Louise, come on, get it, lads.
Lost.
I think they'll get it before they all die. Okay, they did it.
Unit lost.
I do like that buildings don't spawn infantry when they're destroyed. I was never really sold on that mechanic. Honestly, taking this base is hard enough without that going on. Okay. Seems like things are more or less under control. Okay, they built a mammoth. Come on, get their war factory, then we'll only have to deal with infantry, I think. Good work.
Unit lost. Our base is under
Looks like whatever we're supposed to investigate is in that little pen surrounded by the chain link fence. I like how the mission important structure is surrounded by chain link. That's very
Unit ready.
reminiscent of the OG mission design. Let's get out of range of the Tesla, take out this airfield, and then wipe out their power farm. Then hopefully their Teslas will go offline. Okay, that little jerk is annoying. Can you go kill him, please? Thank you. I love rangers that are actually good at killing infantry and are cheap. This doesn't feel very necessary anymore, but I guess we'll put it there just for funsies. Okay. Alright, I think we're in the mop-up phase now. Whew! Oh my gosh. Hopefully the difficulty curve is relatively flat, and the missions aren't going to get drastically more difficult from here, because if they do,
Construction.
well, it's going to be interesting finishing this campaign, let's just put it that way. Oh, okay. Okay. No, I don't want you guys to destroy that. I want you to get the Tesla troops. Unfortunately, I don't really think there's a good way to issue that order. I guess I've destroyed enough power now that if they wipe out the Tesla coil, it's not going to cause the base to get power back. Okay. Get 'em, boys. Alright, good work. You guys keep on taking out the power farm. Okay. I think it's time to go down here, and maybe that'll complete the mission. A chronosphere. Okay, interesting. Alright, now we play the guessing. Oh! Commander, the Soviets have been attempting to reverse engineer stolen chronosphere technology, use whatever means necessary to cease their experiments. New primary objective. Capture or destroy the Soviet chronosphere. Okay, destroy it is. Oh, that was cool. What in God's name? Fall back to your base, prepare for evacuation. We'll need whatever intel you found to fix whatever this is. New primary objective, defend your base. Okay. What is even going on? This is craziness. Wormhole? What the heck is happening? Okay, this is cool. I might want to reinforce this base a little bit more. Okay, so are these Scrin? Okay, I'm pretty sure these are Scrin. This I did not expect. I did not see this coming. This is an awesome twist. I am a big fan of this. Okay, so the chronosphere in this alternative continuity is responsible for bringing the Scrin to Earth, perhaps?
Unit ready.
That's pretty cool. I like that sort of combination of Red Alert and Command & Conquer lore. Now, on a purely personal level, I was always a little disappointed that the Scrin were basically just a Hollywood alien, you know, evil, race of evil invaders. I would have tried to do something more unexpected and interesting with them had I been, like, the chief story developer for the franchise. That said, though, canonically this is what the Scrin are, and the fact that the mod is introducing them in this way, through a malfunctioning chronosphere or something, coming through wormholes, that's very, very cool. I did not see this coming at all. Also, the fact that we now have this eerie green, almost Tiberian-style lighting is very neat. Okay, they are hitting my main base the hardest, but my main base is also very well defended. That said, I might want to enhance its defenses a bit.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Evacuation in 249. Yeah, they are going to overrun this base, I think, if I don't reinforce it. Let's send some reinforcements down from the outpost. Get 'em, boys. That kind of makes me think of a Covenant tank from Halo, the design on that thing. I don't remember the Scrin units from Tiberium Wars at all. I think I only played Tiberium Wars once when it first came out, so a very, very long time ago. I haven't really played it since, so my memory of like Scrin units and stuff is not there, really. So this is all new to me, you know, for all intents and purposes.
Our base is under attack. Unit ready.
Alright, it seems like things are pretty under control. Unless they do some kind of really huge last-minute push. Literally last-minute push. That manages to overwhelm my defenses. I think we're good. Wow, that is such a fantastic twist. I did not see that coming at all. Alright, feeling pretty comfortable about our position here. It's interesting, like, most of the mission feels pretty hard, especially overwhelming the Soviet defenses takes a really huge force. But this big push from the Scrin is not terribly threatening. I mean, I do have to be a little active in my defense here. Whoa, okay, and what is going on over here? Oh, it's a flying lobster! The flying purple lobster!
Unit ready. Preparing.
Enemy helicopter. That is not a helicopter. That is a flying purple lobster. Okay, we did it. Wow. Oh goodness. All right, that was a very, very cool ending to that mission. Okay, so just to reiterate, what are my first impressions? I pretty much said all these already, but to summarize, the graphics, the music, the sound, the overall presentation, top notch. I give those a grade of A. They're superb. The mod is very well done in all those respects. It feels very technically polished. The mission design, my complaint about it is it starts off too hard, because you have to assume that the player playing this mission hasn't played the mod before, so they don't know the tech tree. They're not necessarily familiar with what the units are, what the particular balancing tweaks are, and so on. So it should be a little bit of a more gentle introduction. Give the player more of a chance to get familiar with the different units in a slightly lower threat environment. Like, in my opinion, campaigns, the purpose of the first couple missions in a campaign is essentially tutorializing the player, either explicitly or implicitly. But like the vast majority of the mods, this starts off hard and just kind of throws you straight into the fire. I don't think that's the best design. I would either add a mission before this one that is a little bit more tutorial-y. Like, it doesn't even have to be explicitly tutorial-y. It's just something that gives the player a sandbox or a playground to mess around in and learn what they're doing. Or I would just tone down the difficulty in this particular mission. And it does make me concerned, because if the difficulty just keeps ramping up, we'll see if I'm even able to complete the campaign. That aside, it's a good mission. It starts off pretty vanilla, you know, build a base, destroy the enemy bases, like so many other missions. But well done, you know. That's not exactly a criticism. It's well designed, the map looks good. But then there's that crazy twist where you destroy or capture the chronosphere and all those Scrins start pouring out of wormholes. That was completely unexpected. That was awesome. I was a huge fan of that. So those are pretty much my raw, honest first impressions so far. I am looking forward to playing more of this for sure, but a little concerned about whether it's going to really start kicking my butt. But I guess there's only one way to find out. So next up is going to be Mission 2 of the Allied campaign for Combined Arms. Hopefully you'll join me for that, and I will see you then.